Welcome, and thank you for joining us for our Mid-Valley Business and Industry Resource Alliance kickoff event. We'd like to start off by providing you with some background information on how we actually arrived to today. In the wake of COVID-19 outbreak, those of us who provide support services to businesses in the Mid-Valley were challenged with how we could continue supporting them during the pandemic and unknowingly more crises to come. As we did our best to transition into a remote environment, we became increasingly aware of the many concerns businesses were dealing with, including, but not limited to, where would they go for resources and services? What number should they call for assistance? How would they provide training for their employees to operate remotely? Where would they find PPP for their employees? How could they find out about federal stimulus funds and small business grants available? And where could they actually turn for support to continue manufacturing their products? The establishment of the Mid-Valley Business and Industry Resource Alliance came from a clear passion from each of our organizations to serve the needs of businesses in the Mid-Willamette Valley. The organizations who comprise the Alliance have been collaborating for many years. We've actually enjoyed working together informally and as collaborative partners. However, early in the onset of the pandemic, it was evident to us all that we needed to establish a more formal process to provide businesses with what they needed. In the Mid-Willamette Valley, the partnership of Chemeketa Community College, the Small Business Development Center, the Willamette Workforce Partnership, Strategic Economic Development Corporation, and the Oregon Manufacturing Extension Partnership formed a coalition of organizations with resources designed to strengthen the region's business and workforce. The co-location of several of these partners in this Chemeketa Center for Business and Industry building allowed for the opportunity to coordinate efforts and resources. The strides made for greater delivery of resources during the COVID-19 crisis has not only strengthened the relationships of the organizations, but also their collective resolve to develop a more permanent infrastructure to provide demand-driven programming, training, consulting, and other resources for the benefit of our region's businesses. Through this collaboration, the newly formed Alliance provides employers in Marion, Polk, and Yamhill counties with a variety of workforce and business support services. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Celia Nunez, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the Interim Executive Director for Chemeketa Center for Business and Industry. I oversee the customized training department and the Small Business Development Center. I'm one of your hosts for today's event and have the distinct pleasure of being joined by partners and members of our alliance, including Eric Anderson, President of Strategic Economic Development Corporation, known as SEDCOR, Kim Parker-Jett-Ennis, Executive Director of Willamette Workforce Partnership, also known as WWP, Aaron Fox, President of Oregon Manufacturing Extension Partnership, known as OMEP, and Mike Van Eer, Vice President of Client Engagement, also from OMEP. At this time, I'd like to pass it over to partner Aaron Fox.
Thank you, Celia. As Celia mentioned earlier, we've all, as organizations, worked very closely together in the past. So I'm really excited about this formalization of our partnership. It just made sense. When we were discussing early on what our goals would be for this, we lots of words like seamless and help, supporting our community, those types of things were being said. And at the end of the day, we decided that there's lots of resources out there for folks, but we didn't want them to have to navigate our resources to be able to identify the solutions that they needed. And so we really wanted to be the place that people could go for help. And we wanted them to know that they didn't need to bounce around to find that help. So our goal was really not only to be the place for help, but make sure that we understand each other's services well enough that if any of us are contacted for support, we would be able to point organizations in the right direction and make sure that they were getting the assistance they needed at that time. So ultimately our mission, as it says on the screen, is to be the first place Mid-Valley businesses go when they need help. With that, I'm going to turn this over to Mike Vanier to talk a little bit about the services that OMEP could provide businesses.
Thanks, Aaron. The Mid-Valley Business and Industry Resource Alliance offers Oregon business assistance through business advising, events, and your traditional customized consulting engagements. As Aaron mentioned, our goal in this, our mission, is to be the first place that Mid-Valley businesses go when they need help, and that is critical within this time. If a business needs help, we wanted a place that they could go. And if you see the slide up on your screen, it talks about the different stages of business: startup, established, growth, and then even a business that is looking at a transition. All of these practice areas, programs, methodologies are offered either from one of the partner organizations or several of them, depending upon where you're at, within your business stage. Real briefly about OMEP. OMEP is a management consulting firm that was established in 1996 as a not-for-profit. We're a blend between private and public partnership, funded by federal, state, and client funds. OMEP has 23 staff scattered all over the state of Oregon, and all 23 are direct employees of OMEP. OMEP works side by side with Oregon manufacturers to build successful businesses. We draw on our team's significant depth and breadth of real-world manufacturing experience to bring a thoughtful, problem-solving approach to eliminate the obstacles companies face. Our methodology and practice is rooted in a lean business operating philosophy. We use consulting, coaching, and advising in multiple practice areas and programs under the service offerings of manufacturing operations, business financial strategies, and workforce solutions. OMEP's delivery model ensures companies receive the right guidance and implementation support at the right time to ensure improvements remain long after the project. OMEP also has the capability to draw on a national network of expertise and resources to solve problems manufacturing face. OMEP has staff and offices all over the state of Oregon where our staff lives. We have a vested interest in the prosperity of the communities we serve. I would now like to turn it over to Kim to talk about Willamette Workforce Partnerships.
That's great. Thank you, Mike. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this exciting event. Willamette Workforce Partnership, if you are not aware, is the workforce development board that serves Marion, Polk, Yamhill, and Lynn counties. Our mission is to serve businesses and job seekers. And the way we do that is by serving job seekers through our WorkSource system, which looks a little bit different today than it did even a year ago. As you can imagine, we're doing everything virtually now. But our real primary customer is business. And the way we support business is by helping them find trained employees, whether they are new hires or incumbent workers. We have shifted quite a bit of our attention and focus to how we support businesses in this way over the last 10 months, and are actually just getting ready to launch another program for incumbent worker training. So in a nutshell, much of what Celia and Mike have already talked about, we can help fund. Now, there are, of course, requirements because this is federal money. We are funded by public money. We are also a nonprofit, much like OMEP, but the majority of our funding comes from the federal government. So there are some requirements and some compliance we need to make sure that we check boxes for, but we are here to help businesses thrive. We are here to help them meet all of their workforce development needs. And as you look at the graph on the screen, at the startup, we are at the table with businesses who are considering coming to our community, and will help them get the employees that they need to get started. We provide recruitment, retention training, and incumbent worker training, as I mentioned, all the way through the process. So visit our website for information on the incumbent worker training. And if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to reach out. And now I would like to pass it over to my good friend, Eric Anderson from SEDCOR.
Thank you, Kim. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We've got a great team of people here. We're always excited to share what we do and what we have to offer businesses. You can see on this on the screen, we have an awful lot of things that we offer. And I think what we try to do is, through this alliance and through this partnership, is to use the analogy of a quilt that may be coming down from generations in your family. We want to show you a pretty picture of the resources that we have. And then it's up to us on our side to figure out all the connectivity and the knots and the who does what. So we're really trying to make it easy on the business community. SEDCOR is short for the Strategic Economic Development Corporation of the Mid-Willamette Valley, Oregon. That's our full name, quite a mouthful. We're a 3-county nonprofit membership organization that provides a variety of resources to help businesses locate, stay, and expand in the Mid-Willamette Valley. Next year will be the 40th anniversary of SEDCOR's launch. We are funded by local government partners to reach out to businesses, identify opportunities to help them grow, and we access our network of state, regional, and local economic development resources to do that. We have a great team dedicated to being local resources in each of Marion, Polk, and Yamhill counties. It might be financing, it might be workforce development, it might be supply chain connections, it might be export assistance or venture capital assistance. We informally say that our motto is, I know a guy or I know a gal that can help. And we use our network, including many of the folks here on this call, to help provide those services. We're also launching the Northwest Ag Innovation Hub to connect technology resources with our ag community, which is obviously one of the historically important and continues to be important industries in our region. And we're also working with our partners at OMEP and the McMinnville Economic Development Partnership to help small and medium-sized businesses adopt enterprise resource planning for their businesses to help them grow as well. We have our resources internally at SEDCOR, a staff of 6 of us, along with our great partners in the field and our great partners in the region, and look forward to working with folks that may not be aware of us that are listening in today. And with that, I would like to introduce or reintroduce Celia Nunez, our good friend and neighbor here at the Chemeketa Center for Business and Industry, to talk about her resources.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I have the pleasure of what yours and my local community college offers at Chemeketa, the workforce and the businesses in the Tri-County areas of Marion, Polk, and Yamhill. Chemeketa has a robust customized training and workforce solutions where we offer short and long-term training programs and resources that can help businesses create high-performing employees, managers, and organizations. We do so by assessing a business's training needs, linking your business with a network of internal and external consultants, or collaborating with experts to actually develop and deliver your company's specific workshops on topics that could be anywhere from employee retention, process improvement, technology, business processes, trades, diversity, equity, inclusion, soft skills, etc. As to the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center actually offers at no cost business advisors and expert instructors who understand small businesses, operations, finances, human resources, marketing, and other important skills that business owners need to have. We're here to help business throughout their entrepreneurial journey, whether they start, they're going to launch, they're renewing, they're actually going to expand, or they're discussing what transition looks like for them. Business owners and managers actually have the opportunity to learn how to more effectively build their profitable and sustainable businesses in the communities we serve. So thank you. I'm going to pass it on over back to our partner, Eric Anderson.
Thank you, Celia. SEDCOR, like each of the partners in the Resource Alliance, is fortunate to get to work with a variety of interesting businesses here in the region. And it's a pleasure to have three of our favorites joining us here today to share their experiences. I just realized that's a bit like saying, that's enough about us, let's talk about them and what they think of us. But I will start with a quick introduction of the three panelists before throwing them the first question. We're lucky to have Michael Fowler of Cabinet Door here today, Tara Kramer of Meltar, and Bruce Christensen of Cardaway Concrete. And I will start the conversation with a question with each of the three panelists, but I'll start with Michael. Tell us a bit about what your business and what your role in the business is at Cabinet Door.
Hi, Eric. Thank you for this opportunity. Cabinet Door Service, we were founded in 1989. And with my three partners, one of which runs sales. I have two that oversee various aspects of production. I'm in charge of operations. With four owners, there are times where many of our decisions occur by committee. Other times the decisions are deferred to the person with the strength in that area. And a third variable is if somebody hasn't had experience in an area and wants to try it, we'll obviously support that person. Again, we're founded in 1989. My company makes cabinet doors, components, millwork, all the parts required by our customer. And our customer is the custom cabinet maker. We're a business-to-business manufacturer. We don't do any retail. The plant here in Salem, and it's always been in Salem, it's 150,000 square feet. We've got 250 people working across two shifts. One little interesting fact is that we're about 60% female, and most of our employees, female employees, happen to also be the sole or majority wage earner in their extended family households. And one last thing I'd probably leave for you, Eric, is that you may already know is that CabDoor is a training organization that just happens to build cabinet components. And because of that training, we've been able to lead the market in wages and benefits with a minimum starting wage of $15 an hour and company paid health insurance. So it is possible to grow a very successful business in this community.
Thank you, Michael, and also thank you for your leadership with SEDCOR. Michael is on our executive council and provides us a lot of help and direction as an organization to help us stay relevant to the communities we serve. So thank you for that, Michael. Tara, let's hear from you. Welcome, and tell us a little bit more about you and Meltar and what you do in the business.
Thank you, Eric. Our company was formed in 2018. We are woman-owned. I'm 100% woman owner. We are a nationwide construction materials supply company working on city, state, federal, government, military projects with both vertical and horizontal divisions. We work on embassies, airports, schools, and those are the likes of the government buildings, highways, and bridges. And we're very happy to be a part of this alliance organization. It's really helped our business grow. And we're looking forward to, with the help of these organizations in the alliance, we actually are now importing and exporting and taking our company international. Thank you.
That's great, Tara. Thank you. And Bruce Christensen with Cardaway Concrete. Thank you for being here, and tell us a little bit about you and your business, please.
Thank you for inviting me. Cardaway Concrete Systems has been in business for about 25 years. We manufacture mid-sized concrete mixers and batching systems. A little point of trivia for everybody is that Cardaway is the second most, concrete is the second most consumed product on earth after water. So there's a lot of concrete being made. We don't make the mixers that are driving around town on the trucks. We make the mixers that are smaller than that, but not as small as what you could go to Home Depot to purchase. We have about 400 locations around the country that use our mixing and batching systems to provide small loads of concrete to contractors, municipalities, and homeowners in their communities. My role has actually changed in the last 4 months, thanks to some consulting early on with OMEP. We are in the middle of a succession planning. Our son, Barrett, has now taken on the role of president of the company. And I have been given, I don't know, I guess just so that I have a title, they've given me the CEO title. And for the last 3 months, I have been on the road visiting those 400 locations. I plan on traveling the United States and seeing all of our customer locations, saying hello, saying thank you, and before I decide to turn the whole thing over to our great team at Cardaway to keep things going. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Bruce. And that sounds like both a big task to hit all those places, but also quite an adventure. And I'm quite a bit jealous of that road trip. That'll keep you busy, that's for sure. Let's start again with Michael here. Just can you describe the work you've done and your experience with our partnerships here with the Mid-Valley Industry Resource Alliance? I know you were involved with several of us in different ways. If you could help share some of your experience there.
Sure. The relationship with Sedcor, goes back almost 20 years. Back in when you folks were several different executive director, obviously different office location, was actually at a Sedcor forum. And at that point in time, I'd come across one of your business development officers. And, even way back when, Sedcor was the organization that was known for the quote, "I know a guy," or "I know somebody you need to talk to." And out of that conversation, we were introduced to OMEP. I think that was back in 2005. And we've continued that consulting, advisory, business relationships since. A couple of high points from that experience with OMEP has been the development of a compensation system, a pay for performance. As Bruce has gone through, we also have gone through our business transition planning and have set up our future pathway to success. Also, we have been highly engaged in continuous improvement, in engaging everything that all the resources with regards to our lean journey. And as a result, we've been able to double output year over year since over the last 10 years, with largely essentially the same number of staff, but by simply critically rethinking with OMEP's help how we do the work we do. Other partners that we've engaged as they're part of this alliance or are related to this alliance, of course, Business Oregon is tied into this. That relationship that Sedcor introduced us to back in 2008 and 2009 when the market in our area crashed. That relationship was critical in helping us find new financing because that market crash also took out our bank. We've had active relationships with the Small Business Development Center in business and financial planning. Of course, with Willamette Workforce Partnership, again, a many-year relationship where we have accessed their lean training, their leadership courses, all their consortia work that they do to continue to offer. And they've also helped us engage specific workers in development plans, a program they call OJTs. And then one of the other partners that's part of the group that comes into this is the role of Mid-Valley Literacy Center. And their programs that we've engaged because of our relationships to bring our people workplace literacy, GED work, and pathways to citizenships, their efforts are truly second to none.
Thank you, Michael. And I appreciate you bringing up Business Oregon. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the state business development department, Business Oregon, for their support of what we do. And we actually have the regional development officer, Denny Houle, is co-located under normal circumstances in our office here. That gives us that connection and strengthen that connection. That's been there for years, that relationship with the state. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Tara, can you talk about the work you've done and your experience with the Alliance?
Yes, thank you. I started with the SBDC, the Chemeketa SBM strategic class for entrepreneurs. And I started with Celia Nunez and Joanne Sharer, Megan Gallup, and Don Lundberg, and with an immense amount of resources, anything from marketing, operations, financials. It's a great resource, and I highly recommend any companies that, whether you're in your first year or your fifth year, to look into that program, the SBDC program, and to really catapult your business. Because as a business owner, a lot of times we don't have that outside help that we need. And that really is a great resource. You go to classes once a month and you talk with other business owners who are not competitors. So it's a very valuable resource in Oregon and very affordable too. Another entity, or rather program that has come into our view is SCALE. We are honored to be, I believe, the 14th or 15th company in the state to be part of SCALE, which is through the SBDC program, strategic class. And you have to have certain qualifiers, but they can help you see if that, and that takes it to the next step. That's one-on-one actually consulting and actually looking at your business and growing it. And it's a program for 2 years. It's a newer program to the state of Oregon. Third one was market research from Southern Oregon University with Bridget Whitehead. That is part of the SBDC strategic class and SCALE. To take that tool that you are given, and it's a very expensive tool that you're given for no cost, and to really research, because a lot of times we business owners don't have the time to research what is out there, your competitors, how to pivot, where to pivot to. Do you take your business out of state? What does that look like? That is a valuable, immense resource that Southern Oregon University gives us. The fourth one was Business Oregon, like Michael from Alexa Byers. She helped my company take it international when I really didn't think that was a possibility. She signed us on for the International Global Women Empowerment, which is also a new program, import and export nationwide program for women business owners. And she also signed us up for what they're called the Golden Key program. As you can see, there's all these programs out there that can help you grow your business that are no cost to you. But unless you're not out there looking for it or on these webinars, you're not going to find it. So Golden Key gives you access, and we're actually looking at Mexico and doing 3 construction projects, but we're actually dealing directly with Mexico people. It's just not a shot in the dark. You actually get introductions and one-on-one with key general contractors and individuals involved in those projects. The fifth one was we were pre-approved for a loan with the SBA it's called an Export Express loan. We were given that through the SBA and through Business Oregon. So when we do take our projects out of state, we actually have some federal backing to make sure that money and cash flow, which is very important in our businesses, maintains the liquidity that we need. The sixth one was Paulo and Mike from OMEP. I did not think as a supplier that would benefit me, but I was amazed how OMEP makes introductions to suppliers with manufacturers. So they also have these tremendous consulting services that we took advantage of, and we did SWOT analysis for our business. And those introductions that OMEP made to us, we are now taking Oregon manufacturers and taking them nationwide on our construction projects. So you can really see the flow of everything, helping your fellow business Oregonians by taking their products elsewhere where they didn't think they could go. And then number 7 was Sedcor with you, Eric. That introduction to Perez Lumber and other incoming companies, or hey, did you look at this industry? You opened our eyes to industries we never thought that we would have that potential. So that was a tremendous relationship. Thank you. And lastly, Willamette Workforce. Kim, we'd like to thank you for that grant to Meltar. That really helped us in a tough time during COVID. And we really appreciate that. It was like winning the lotto. So as a new business, we really appreciate that. Thank you.
That's fantastic, Tara. Thank you. Such great details on how you worked with all of us. Bruce, same question. Please describe the work you've done with the groups represented in the Alliance.
First of all, I'd like to just say to those who are looking at the possibility of taking advantage of some of these resources that over the years that we've taken advantage of it, occasionally I felt guilty that I have this extra advantage over all of the other business people in the community because they haven't discovered what this alliance can do for them. As in fact, I don't know that we've fully discovered what it can do for us, but at least we've dabbled in it enough to make us very happy that we have joined this group and have been able to network with them. With the Willamette Workforce Partnership, I think my favorite thing to do is to go to the manufacturers consortium breakfasts and to learn with fellow manufacturers some great ideas. I'm sad that we haven't had those very much anymore, but once those start up again, those are, if you're in the manufacturing business, I would highly recommend those. We've also participated with WWP on incumbent training programs. Our management teams have gone to other trainings for leadership. We've been able to get access to other people that are in similar industries for us. And so the networking has been great. And thank you to them also for the opportunity to apply and to receive grants, particularly during this last trying season. SEDCOR, we have not worked with a bunch, except they helped us and we worked with them on brainstorming a way that sidewalks in cities could be improved at the same time that young people could be trained on how to do concrete construction. And we're really grateful that they brainstormed with us. I think Willamette Workforce Partnership has sort of picked up the ball and have run that. And now there's been at least 2 successful tests of this program. And we're hopeful that we can see many more in this region where young people can go out and help fix the sidewalks of the community. OMEP has been particularly helpful. I mentioned that they helped us on some consulting for the transition from one generation to another. We're working through the plans that they helped consult with us for. We also had them come in and consult when we were deciding and eventually installing a powder coating facility in our building, so that we could take all that part of the process in-house. And now after that consulting and the operations getting started, we're very pleased with the fact that their advice has helped us get this set up and started correctly, and it's becoming very successful. We're grateful for that. We also had them work with us on some assembly procedures that would help us be a little bit more efficient so that we could push through more product than what we were putting through before. Our particular company, we do significant sales, but with only 10 people. So we don't have a large employee footprint, but working with OMEP to help us be even more efficient was very helpful.
Thank you, Bruce. I'm glad you mentioned the sidewalk project, because I've heard some rumors that some of the contractors and other folks in the area, as they were driving by some of these projects and saw young folks learning the skill and working on them, they actually ended up getting some hires out of that, literally drive-by hires, bringing them into their workplace. So that's a nice way to get those skills in the community. Well, Michael, you heard Bruce refer to this as a secret, and we're trying to get that secret out as far as the resources available through us. What do you suggest? How would you encourage other businesses to engage with us and to collaborate?
It's a great question. I think at the core of it is for all the business owners that are listening to this to find ways to step outside of the day-to-day management of the business and put themselves into circles of influence of folks like yourself, Eric, and your team at SEDCOR. Attend these events that Willamette Workforce Partnership puts together, and show up with the idea of asking questions and listening versus saying, I'm so overwhelmed with the day, I can't possibly take on anything more. And then when you're at those, take advantage of the time that you're there to really listen, and then take those engagements when somebody says, hey, let's at least talk for, over a cup of coffee about some other ideas, listen to that input and see where those conversations go. It's not always a straight path. So it's about being open, available, and willing to listen to all of these tremendous resources that are part of this alliance.
Thank you, Michael. Tara, what's your advice for people that are interested in getting in on the secret here?
Well, when you hang up from this meeting, then make sure you email or call somebody. Pick one organization. Don't pick them all. Just pick one. Pick one organization that jumped out to you. I know you'd like to, but then your plan should be, and have a plan. Make sure then you pivot to the next organization. Don't stick with just one organization. That's my aha moment. Was there are all these organizations. You may not think that an organization can help you, but at least talk to that person in that organization and actually see if there is an idea, because they might have an idea how they can incorporate their, like OMEP did for me, into your company. Reach out to people that are on boards. Ken Hector lives in Silverton here. He sits on the Shemeketa board for the college, and he's right in my own town. So I'm going to go buy him a cup of coffee and I'm going to ask Ken for advice. He's very wise, very involved in the business community. So don't just limit yourself even to these organizations. Actually reach out to other business people. Reach out to we speakers here if you would like to. We would love to just pay it forward. So that's my suggestion to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. And Bruce, sorry we're going to make you, leak the secret here, but how would you suggest people engage?
I think that they should be sharing the secret. I mean, and the only way you can share the secret is to find out how good it really is to participate. It's been, and if it takes a little bit of your time, there's a lot of smart people that are spending way too much time in their own business and not enough time reaching out to some other very smart people in these organizations who will help them. If you're just thinking you're going to run your company all by yourself, that's you're not taking advantage of this secret. I think it's you should find out how good it is. In fact, what happens is you sort of get addicted, and you want to get more information, and you want to reach out to more people and more organizations and find out more. So I think there's a great value in taking advantage of what we've learned today.
Thank you, Bruce. And one thing I should, add, as we've been talking about the secret, when you contact any one of us, that we are certainly, while we collaborate and share information, we always do that with the permission of the client. So it's, I think you're, whatever secrets you have or issues you have that you're dealing with as a business, and you come and contact us, if you just want to start kind of a first step with one of us before we start bringing other folks in, that's a great way to do it as well. Just just to be sure that people understand that we all value the confidentiality of the customers and the clients we work with. So one last question. This is an easy one, given the year that we've had. What's your advice? What's your advice for businesses coming into 2021, and probably also maybe talk a little bit about how you managed to weather the last year of a very unprecedented, we keep joking about putting a dollar in every time we say unprecedented, but it really has been an unprecedented challenge for businesses. So Michael, what's your advice for business owners to be successful in the coming year?
Advice, wow, that's I don't pretend to understand all the complications of everybody else's operations, but in looking at what I've experienced and thinking about that question was, we all came into business for ourselves for various reasons, and there was a passion and there was an energy behind that. And I would encourage every person who feels like they're getting lost in the day-to-day, being, running the business of the business, to find a way to step back, reinvigorate that passion. Do as Tara recommended or Bruce recommended, to, get engaged with other people who can offer input, advice, listen to those. Second recommendation, invest and grow your people. Whether you're a big organization with a lot of people, or you're a small organization and you're very intense, your people are absolutely your most precious resource for accomplishing what needs to happen. The more you grow them, the more success you'll find. My final piece, and I think I'm kind of circling back to my beginning recommendation, is engage with the folks in this alliance and in other circles of contact.
Thanks, Michael. Tara, what are your thoughts? 2021 and in the future here.
Thank you. I have 5. First of all, update your website. That is key right now. A lot of people, we forget about it. Hire an outside company if you have to. It's simple advice. We forget about it sometimes. But now really take a different look, because people are buying differently. Look at all these Zoom webinar meetings. We're living online. You have to be able to adapt. It's so key now. It's a lot of newer companies. Maybe you don't think that it will make you money. No matter what your business is, a website will make you money. Second would be digital banking. There's a lot of banks out there where I think we're getting back to the relationship banker. They're realizing that people are not we're going to do a lot of stuff in our offices more, but they have so many tools. We kind of forget about our banker. Go back to that old relationship, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, if y'all are old enough, and really develop that relationship. Alexa Bayer from Business Oregon, I want to take my company international. Well, not every bank can be international. So now, and same with a lawyer and a CPA. So you need to look at your business differently, and banking is a big part of it. Join a professional organization. These organizations are very important, but be in something that actually speaks to what you do. Or be in an organization that's totally different, or start your own organization. But definitely do that networking that you need to do, and put that in your schedule twice a month. That's what they say, twice a month, and you will impact your business, 1 hour each time. The fourth is create a plan B and C. Flexibility is going to be key. The buzzword right now in this COVID time, pandemic time, is pivot. And I actually have a sign in my office. It's huge. It said, "Did I pivot today?" I pivot every day. I have ups, I have downs, I have peaks, I have valleys. My employees, they come to me with a problem. I say, "Did you pivot?" "No, I didn't." "Well, go pivot then. Find a way to pivot." So that's going to be key. Specifically, what happens if there's another shutdown in 2021? Are you ready for that? Do you have a plan for it? What happens if 2021 sales return to 2019 levels? Those are key questions that businesses are asking themselves. And what happens if costs increase? I'm a supplier, and so I'm impacted by manufacturers and truckers. It's a whole chain of events that's happening right now. We're in unprecedented times. You're going to have to think outside the box. You're going to have to talk to other business owners, maybe in the other side of the country, so they're not a competitor, or maybe in different fields, but you need to ask those hard questions of yourself, or you're not going to make it. And lastly, I agree with Michael, really reach out to these organizations here. I work all across the country in many states. I see states try and get together their organizations. They don't do it well. Oregon does it very, very well. And that's why Oregon grows their small businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. I think all of us were inspired by the pivoting that we saw this past year with a variety of different businesses, whether they moved into PPE manufacturing or switched to an online menu for their restaurants, or looked at a new market that they weren't able to get because they went onto their website and identified how they could reach out to for beyond their own geography. So I think that's a great word to be it's another one of those words we tend to use an awful lot these days, unprecedented and pivot. That's important. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. Bruce, you're batting cleanup here. What are your thoughts on how to engage and how to business owners look at success in the coming year?
Well, I'd like to just say amen to what's been said, that's all great advice. I plan on using that advice to my advantage in our business and in our growth. And I hope that those who are participating in this webinar will use that advice and move forward as well. I think one of the common things among business owners is that they have less fear than other people. They're willing to take a little bit more risk than some. And I think the fact that we're all here visiting today means that we value risk, and we're not afraid of learning new things and getting prepared to do something better. Our motto this year has been when everybody else is slowing down, we're stepping on the gas. And so I would recommend that if you can muster the fear, muster the courage, reduce the fear, that this is the year to step on the gas.
Great advice, Bruce. Thank you. And once again, Michael, Tara, and Bruce, thank you all for your comments and sharing your very inspirational stories of how we're moving forward in the coming year and how you've been growing to the point you've grown to now. It's like I mentioned in the introduction, it's always a pleasure for us to be working with the variety of businesses we get to as partners in this alliance. And you're three great examples of that. I would thank you again and hand this back to Aaron Fox for his closing thoughts. Aaron.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I just want to echo what Eric said. It was so fun listening to all three of the presenters share their experiences with the different organizations as part of our partnership. The most important thing to OMEP is always that the clients are successful, and so to hear all three of them echo that they had good experiences, of course, makes me smile. But the fact that in most of the situations, it was they start, as Tara had described, started with one of our organizations, and because of our close relationship and formal partnership now, that we were able to identify other support that the organization could provide and bring them to the different partners. And that really is the goal here. Is there's a lot of resources out there. Sometimes it can be hard to find the right one, and we don't want it to be hard. So you can contact any of us if any of the services that were talked about today or the stories you heard resonated with you. Don't worry about picking the right one. Pick any of us, and we'll make sure that you get the appropriate services that you need at this time. I'm really looking forward to see what this formal partnership can bring to Mid-Valley businesses, and want to thank all of you for participating in today's webinar to learn more. Most importantly, I want to thank the panelists, Michael, Bruce, and Tara. I agree, it's inspiring, and they're right. Every day we work with businesses and recognize that they're taking on a lot of risk to provide great jobs for folks in our community and really make a difference for our economies. So I'm grateful for you for presenting today, but also more grateful for what you do for the economic health of our communities. And with that, I think we have a few minutes to open things up for a little Q&A. So if you have any questions for the panelists or any of the presenters, feel free to load them in the Q&A function or chat function within the Zoom platform. And Jasmine, I believe, is going to be managing that Q&A part of this.
Yes, we do have a question from Alicia around just how does the pricing for services work? Is there a cost to services?
I can start with the OMEP structure. We are, as Mike described, a public-private partnership. And so we receive some funding from the federal government and some funding from Business Oregon and the state government, which allows for us to defer some of the overall costs for the services that we provide. But because of the public-private funding partnership, we do charge fees. We have a standard daily rate, and depending upon the size of the project and the amount of time that we all agree is going to be required to finish the work that's identified, we'll structure the pricing around that. We do provide free assessments. Part of our federal funding allows us to do that. So if you're unsure of whether we're going to come with a solution you're looking for, that initial upfront assessing the problems that you're trying to solve and putting together a scope of services to address it is free. That's for OMAP. I'll pass it over to whoever else wants to describe theirs.
I can say for SEDCOR, you know, our teams that we have here available for visiting with businesses and listening what the issues are and what opportunities there are, we're free of charge for that service. That's an expectation of the work that we do with our funding partners. And, you know, there may be other opportunities for whether it's program participation with some of the trade show, you know, programs that Tara mentioned, or you know, OMEP services or SBDC services that might have some limited funding required, but you know, generally we're pretty. Our services are free. Our business retention expansion services.
And this is Kim from Willamette Workforce Partnership, and we actually like to give money away. So our funding is here to support businesses to pay for much of the services that you have heard about today.
I'll share in regards to Chemeketa's SBDC program and customized training. We're very fortunate in that we receive our funding through Oregon Business Development Department and the SBA, including being with our host at Chemeketa. We provide at no cost advising with business experts to all businesses in a variety of topics. We also have the Small Business Management Program, which is an annual program that we help specific businesses, you know, kind of grow through their business journey. There is a small fee for that, but we have the Scale Client Program, which Tara mentioned, and that's for companies who are ready to grow and want to expand. They may be Oregon traded sector companies with a few employees and have had an ability to continue with their sales revenue. The specialized services that we provide there include the market research, search engine optimization, all the business expert advising, et cetera. And those there's a little minimal cost, but actually it's pretty much free. The customized services side, we work with the industry partners that want us to come into their businesses to help develop their workforce. And that, you know, is on a client per client basis. But primarily, if anyone is interested, you know, let me know and I can provide specific information about whatever programs we have and what's available. But we, like Kim, we may not have money to give, but we sure have a lot of resources and services to provide. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 more questions here, and I want to be sensitive to time, so hopefully we can be quick. Leisha asks, do any of the services mentioned today help beauty salon industry sole proprietors grow by way of business expanse? Whoever wants to take that one, jump on it.
I can just dive in here really quickly. Part of the requirement of the way we run our program by the federal government, the Act, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, is that we use data to identify what the economic driving sectors are in our region. And in our region, those sectors are construction, healthcare, manufacturing, and transportation, warehouse, and distribution. So that doesn't mean that we're limited in funding those targeted sectors, but there is a priority for those targeted sectors. What I will also say is that we've become very aware in the last 10 months, 11 months almost now, that the hospitality industry has obviously taken a huge hit. across the board, including hairdressers, nail technicians, et cetera. So we are continually trying to find ways to support those businesses as well. And sole proprietors are a big part of that industry.
All right, and last but not least, we have a question from Trevor. Great question. Since so many in the Alliance receive some federal funding, do any of our organizations offer services for cannabis-related businesses?
I can say, at least at Sedcor, we've got clients that are in the hemp business. We do a lot of work with agriculture, obviously, and hemp is a growing, pardon the pun, industry in the region, and also the CBD oil manufacturing. We've had a couple workshops looking at that market, both as an alternative and as well as concerns about the market growth and how to enter the market. So we tend to be more on that side of the business or the industry, but that is something that we have, we continue to work with.
I can hit this from OMEP's front. Our mission is to help small and medium manufacturing businesses thrive. So the funding's really earmarked for manufacturing companies. That being said, we do occasionally support and work with companies outside of manufacturing and are happy to help any company that really needs our help. The fee structure would look different just due to what that funding's intended to support. For the most part, we do not work with cannabis companies, but because we don't ever want to tell a business that needs help that they can't have it, we have partners that we definitely like to forward them that direction so that those businesses at least can get assistance even though we aren't providing it.
Thank you. Well, I think we're just about at time and I do not see any more questions here. So Aaron, I'll let you close out.
All right, again, a little bit of a repeat, thanking everybody for attending, thanking Michael, Bruce, and Tara for taking the time to present. Pay it forward, I love that saying, Tara, that's great. Again, if any of you feel like you need some help in any area of your business, reach out to any of us. We will make sure that we find the right resource. Again, our priority is to help be the navigator. And Eric's analogy is great, right? You see the pretty front of the quilt and we're the bunch of stitches behind it. And we'll sort through the different resources and whether they're part of this alliance or not, get you the support that you really need. So I'm excited about this partnership and I'm happy to see what comes from it.
Aaron, I would just like to also add on for all of us that were involved in this, a big thanks to Jasmine. We've already heard from her and Jenny Kistler on the Sedcor team for helping pull all of this together. So it's a team effort well beyond the talking heads that were featured today. We've all got great teams behind us that work with us and we're very fortunate in that regard. So thanks to Jenny and Jasmine.
Well stated. Thank you, everyone, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you soon.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.